Hi guys, this is just a little pre-video disclaimer. This video is extremely long compared to my typical videos. However, I did this to show how quick and simple cooking a vegan dinner can really be. This entire meal was, for me, expensive. It probably cost about $6 to make. That's twice as much as I usually spend on a meal. However, it ended up being amazingly tasty. I mean, we couldn't get enough. And it did end up feeding 3 servings. My husband has leftovers for tomorrow. However, this video was shot in real time, and the only jumps you will see is editing, where I had to ask my husband how much time I had left on my camera and telling him how to point the camera at the food. So, if you do not want to watch the whole video, you can go to my website. There will be a written recipe. Just jump to the end to see what I ended up making. And if you like this video and you would like to see more, let me know and we'd be willing to make as many as you'd like to see. If you have any requests of anything you want me to make, leave me a comment below or visit me on Facebook. Thank you. Bye. Hi guys, FaylinaMeir here. Today I'm going to do a quick recipe that kind of goes with my quinoa video that I've already made. I'm just kind of showing you what I'm cooking for myself for dinner. I'm going to make a stir-fried broccoli and pea recipe with some green onions. And it's just going to be really simple, and I'm going to put it on top of quinoa and serve it with some seasoned potatoes on the side. So this is going to be a kind of long video. I hope you will enjoy, and if you want to see more videos like this, let me know and I will make more videos of what I cook for dinner. So let's get started. So I have already prepared my peas. These are stringless peas, although I did take the time to take the ends off if they had the little papery thing on the end. And I already have my garlic and ginger here. I have about 1.5 tablespoons of minced ginger. It's the kind in the package that you buy at the store. I rinsed it well under warm water, and then I also have a 1/2-inch piece of ginger that I finely minced. And here I have a couple heads of broccoli here, some florets. And what I'm going to do to prep them is I'm going to cut them off at the tops here to separate it from the main stem. Doesn't have to look fancy. Don't get rid of this. We're also going to use this. Really, the only kind of specialized equipment that you're going to need to make this is you're going to want a wok. You could make this in a large size pan, however you won't get the same texture on the outside. So here we have the broccoli, just the top of the florets. This is about 1 inch by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to cut them a little smaller than that. Okay, unless they're really small, I cut them. Sometimes I cut them into 4 pieces. You want smaller sized pieces, okay? This is quick cooking, so small pieces. And try to get them all about the same size. You don't want some broccoli pieces that are going to cook quicker than the others, because then they're going to burn and get soggy, and that's never tasty. So after you've done all of the tops, then you're left with the stems, which are completely edible. Now, what you didn't see is I took the ends off of the stem because usually it's dried out and might have a little bit of white mold or something on it. It's fine, don't worry, it's not harmful. And then I'm just going to finely chop it like this. Okay, you want to do this kind of thinly because this takes a lot longer to cook than the florets will. So if you get them really tiny, then they'll all cook at the same time. I'm also not going to parboil these, I'm just going to cook them in the pan. So again, that's the reasoning for the small pieces. If you didn't want to use the stems in this recipe, that's fine. I still suggest that you cut them up, and what I do is I put them in a plastic bag and I stick them in the freezer, and every time I eat broccoli, and I don't use the stems, I add them to this bag, and then when I go to do a quick, like, end of the week stir fry, or when I run out of fresh vegetables, I will add those to a stir fry, and it's a great way to save money and, you know, not waste food. So here I have these, and I'm going to put them in a bowl. Next ingredient I'm going to use in my stir fry are green onions. Now these are kind of wilted from being in the refrigerator, so I'm only going to go up to where you see the rubber band. And what you want to do is you want to trim the ends off. I've already done that. And you want to do these kind of fine. The greens you can do a little thicker because they cook very quickly, but the white ends you definitely want to cut very thin. And then when you get to that, you just toss it, put it in your compost or toss it in the garbage. Okay, now I've prepared all my vegetables and I'm ready to stir fry. So here's my wok. I don't know how big it is, but it's like the extra large size. Teflon brand, look it up, okay? Cast iron will work better. I just haven't had the money to buy one. As always with wok cooking, don't be afraid, but you have to put it on high heat. We want to let it heat up just a little bit. Here in this, I have grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is very good oil to use when cooking because it has a high smoke point. So it's a little, less toxic when you cook with it. And I don't put a lot in. I'm not putting a lot in, that's probably at most a half a tablespoon. And then I'm also using a spatula. And what I like to do is I like to start by spreading the oil up the sides of the pan. And I'm going to let it just hang out like that. And then I also like to get a couple pieces of broccoli or something, that's not going to burn really easy. And I'm going to put it in the pan in the oil. Now if you were using sesame seeds or something like that, you could pop those in there and those would be fine. This just kind of gives you an idea of when your food is ready to go into the pan. And since that's a good idea, I think I'm going to add some sesame seeds. And I rarely ever measure in my kitchen, but I'm going to say that's about a tablespoon and a half. So our sesame seeds are starting to pop. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And now it is time to add our broccoli. All of it in at once. And start to stir it around the pan. We're trying to get it just all a little bit coated like that. And we're going to add our peas. Again, stirring it around really easy. Now I'm going to get some water. I just got some water and I'm going to pour in half tablespoon at a time and stir it around. This helps to kind of cook the food down a little quicker. If you add it all in at one time, you're going to drop the temperature of the pan and it's not going to stir fry, it's going to boil and steam. So tablespoon at a time. Should really not see any water at the bottom very much. And what you're going to notice is, shortly after doing this, it's going to get very bright green colored. Now, if you wanted to, at this point, you've taken the raw edge off, and that's fine. You can dump these in a bowl of ice water, although I wouldn't do it with the sesame seeds, okay? And then, they're perfectly fine. You can store them in the fridge. They'll keep their bright color. You can even freeze them for later. I'm going to keep cooking them, obviously. As far as measurements go, this was probably 3/4 to 1 pound of broccoli, and it is 15 ounces of the peas. Okay. I'm also using 2 bunches of onions. It's about 5 ounces. And again, 1½ tablespoons minced garlic and about a 1/2 inch minced piece of ginger. This is food for 2 people tonight. Could easily feed 3, alright? After a little bit, I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger. And if it falls out and your stove is clean, just put it back in. Nobody cares. And stir it around well. Now, optionally, if you want to get the blackened pieces, okay, like the little bit of coloring like on the peas and the broccoli, you're going to want to put a thin layer like this, and you're going to want to let them set for 2 to 3 minutes, and then you're going to want to stir and repeat that and keep repeating that. Now, I don't want to wait that long, so I'm just going to cook it until the broccoli is at the desired tenderness that I like. I like it to be kind of tender and still have a little bit of a crunch. And it's also good to note that this is a silicone heat-proof spatula up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to want something heat-proof, or heat-resistant I should say, when you are cooking. Now I'm starting to get a little bit of color on the broccoli, and the ginger and the garlic are very fragrant, and they're just starting to toast up nicely. That's right where I want it. I'm going to add in all of my onion. If you want to be pretty, you could save some as garnish for the top. Really doesn't matter. Very beautiful color. Very green. Always need to add more green into your life, guys. So now I have here a traditional Chinese soy sauce. This is very low sodium, guys. This is not the stuff that you get here in America that's 40 to 75% of your daily sodium per tablespoon. This stuff is like 12%, and I have a thicker soy sauce that's only 6%. So, if your soy sauce is very high sodium, don't add as much, okay? Or add it at the end. I'm going to add a couple tablespoons. I'm just eyeballing it. Like that. And stir it. Now if you add the soy sauce and you continue to let it cook, it will get caramelized and you'll get more blackening, which tastes good. But I'm not going to. Just take my chopsticks and I'm going to get a little piece of broccoli and I'm going to try it. A little bit longer, still a little tough. I also wanted to show you guys, if you haven't seen my video, my Cooking 101 How to Cook Quinoa video, check that out. That'll be going up right before this video goes up. I just want to show you, this is my quinoa that I'm going to serve this on top of. Optionally, if you don't like quinoa or you don't have it available, you can use couscous. You can use rice, which is traditionally what I would put this on because it's a little easier. But since I made a batch of quinoa just for the video, that's what I'm going to serve it on. Now, optionally, if you want this flavor, and this does add a little extra fat into your diet, but I haven't had much fat in my diet today, so I'm okay. I'm going to add about a teaspoon, a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of sesame oil. Okay? Sesame oil can turn carcinogenic really quickly when you're cooking it, meaning bad toxins, okay? That was the whole reason you use the grapeseed oil, is because you didn't want the toxins. So at this point, you're going to want to turn off the heat. Now by this time your broccoli should be kind of softer, still have a little bit of a crunch. Same thing with the peas. The peas should be a little soft, but you still want them to have texture. Don't waste perfectly good produce and cook it into mash, guys. have just plain, unsalted, no butter, no seasoning whatsoever potatoes. I bake them in the oven. Alright, I'm just adding a little bit extra calories, a little bit extra carbohydrates into our meal tonight, and I am just thinly slicing these. This is optional. You can just eat additional quinoa. This is just me trying to get rid of stuff that's in my refrigerator here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in this bowl. Now I've had the heat off for about 2 minutes, and I'm just going to toss them in here. This is going to cool the food down, obviously, make it a little more pleasant, because they did pull these out of the refrigerator, and as well as it's going to help heat them through. Now I was thinking about serving this on the side, but I figured I might as well just toss it together to heat it through, obviously, and because I don't want to end up pouring 1,000 gallons of ketchup onto my food, which I would do if I ate this on the side. So as that's warming through for a minute, I'm going to get my plates. So I'm putting together my plate now, and the great thing about eating a high carbohydrate, low fat diet is you can eat as much as you want. So I'm gonna get, I guess this is about a cup of cooked quinoa. 2 cups, okay? Make sure you break up any large clumps. You don't want to be eating large clumps. Just gonna take some tongs. I'm gonna serve my vegetable mixture on top. Again, guys, don't be stingy with your vegetables here. And don't be afraid of eating this much, okay? Eating this much food has helped me lose weight, honestly. Now the only thing left that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of chili sauce. You can get this in an Asian market, or some grocery stores like Walmart and stuff have them. Just kind of varies. It does have salt in it, so if you have something that gets salt, you might want to use something else, a salt-free seasoning like Mrs. Dash or whatever. And that's it. Okay, you can eat with chopsticks, or since obviously, you know, it's going to be a little hard to eat the little pieces, eat it with a spoon. There you go. So that meal took about 15, 18 minutes, something like that to make. I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to eat a healthy vegan diet, to cook this fresh for your family. Obviously the quinoa was pre-made, the potatoes were pre-made, but you don't have to use exactly what I'm using. You can just use whatever you have available. Substitute out the fresh vegetables that are in season and whatever. So for the exact or approximate exact measurements for this meal, visit my website, www.FaylinaMeir.com. As always, I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you to my wonderful husband who's holding the camera. Bye!